Okay, now we're going to do the dot inlays on the fingerboard. Now I'm using a sort of a abalone sort of dot. Of course, you can use like a traditional black plastic dot, just anything you like here, whatever decoration you're doing. And I'm going to take some little pieces of masking tape. This is like a green painter's tape, and I'm going to just mark the fret areas where I want the dots to be. So I'm just doing the traditional 3rd, 5th, 7th, 9th, 12th, and so on. Notice here on the 12th, I'm actually going to put 2 dots on that one, so I'm actually going to mark it with 2 pieces of tape just to give me a reminder that that's where I double up. Then I'll go again with the 15th, 17th, and the 19th. And the length of the board that I have allows me to do a 21st fret dot as well. Okay, and we've got our center line, and we're going to draw some diagonals in these areas just to get the exact center both vertically and horizontally. If you draw 2 diagonals in a rectangle like this, the point they cross should be the center point of that rectangle. And notice how that cross lands on our center line that we have drawn down the neck. So I've went ahead and marked those frets. Notice on the 12th where I did the double, I just split it into 2 small rectangles and divided those equally. Now if you're careful about the dots that you select, you can get a size dot that is the same size as a drill bit. The one I'm using, I believe, is actually a 1/4 inch, which is around 6 millimeters. But they sell those dots in different sizes. And here I'm just taking a scrap piece of wood and just testing my drill bit out to make sure that my dots will indeed fit snugly inside this hole. You can see the little dot there. I'm just going to test fit it, see if it'll fit in there snug and that it can be pushed in pretty flush with the surface. Here I'm just going to take that little end and just tap it in place. Once I see that it fits, I'll just pop that dot back out. So now it's just a matter of drilling a small hole. And you don't want to go real deep here. I mean, you can see the thickness on your dots. You don't have to go much more than that. It's just a very shallow little drill cut. And you can kind of play with it and get it the depth you want until your dot fits in there nice and snug and pretty flush with the fretboard. And since that has a curvature on it, it's not going to be perfectly flush. We'll come back and sand those later. Here I'm just going to tap that into place and make sure I get a good fit. Okay, then once you've got that done, just go ahead and do the same thing with the rest of your marks. And then I'm actually going to glue these in with super glue. There's several different kinds in there. You might want to have a few clamps ready just to hold it in place while that super glue dries. Nice thing about the super glue is it dries so quick you don't have to hold it very long. I'm just going to put a couple of drops in here. And just sort of slide your dot in place. Press it in so that you get it flush. And if you're careful enough, you probably won't get a lot of squeeze out. If you do, just be careful and not get that on your fingers. And here I'm just going to clamp it in place. And again, it doesn't have to stay that long. You know, about a minute or so, and then move on to the next dot. There you can see we've got all our dots glued in place. Then I'm going back with our radius blocks, our radius sanding blocks, and I'm using some 180 grit paper. And we're going to just gently sort of resand the top of that fretboard, being very mindful of the contours and the curvature that you have in there. And we're really not trying to dig into the wood as much as just level off the top of those frets, or the inlay dots, I should say. There you can see we've got them sanded nice and flush.